it's Ben Churchyard here from Beastie Boxing. I'm here with Chris Lloyd, host of TKO and Before the Bell. So Chris, I just want to have a little chat with you, mate, really about kind of the fight tonight, what you kind of think is going to happen tonight, the tonight's fight, what the things are. But before we get on to that, just kind of want to have a little chat about your boxing story. I think with boxing, it's one of those sports where everyone's got a boxing story, whether you're a fan, whether you're involved in the game. So yeah, what's your kind of boxing story?
I was a fan in, I think it was 95, the first fight I ever watched at home with my family. My granddad did a bit of boxing, so we always grew up watching sort of wrestling and boxing. And the first fight I ever watched was Bruno McCall when he won the WBC heavyweight title. So I would have been about 8 years of age. I'm 31 now, so wow. Yeah, that's not what you want. So I can remember just being kind of in awe of I suppose the heavyweights then. And the next fight I remember we watched was Bruno when he defended against Tyson. And I can remember thinking, no one's ever going to beat Frank Bruno. He became my idol, and then Tyson came and blew him out in however many couple of rounds it was. And just falling in love with the game, it's always something that triggers you, and obviously that was a special era. And from then, you know, I used to watch Neil Whitaker and Roy Jones, and Nassim Hamid was a huge influence on me in the late 90s, early 2000s, through Hatton and Froch and everybody from the modern era. So I've probably been watching boxing for 25 years. I guess subconsciously I never knew I wanted to work in it, but you know, you've got to follow your heart and do what you love, and I'm here, and honestly every day I work in boxing and the things that I do, I really do think how lucky I am to be doing what I do.
Yeah. And so how was it you kind of originally got into working within the industry? Was that something you just fell into, or? Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. So I was at Loughborough Union, I was an athlete, I was a 200 and 400 metre runner. I got injured kind of out of the blue, broke my foot, it didn't heal right, and the doctor basically said to me, you're not going to be able to run to a high level again. Unfortunately, career's kind of over, and I was gutted. You know, you've gone from putting your whole life into something 7 days a week. I'd always boxed for fitness in the winters, and you know, I've been sparring for probably coming up 15 years now. And I got to a point where I had a void in my life where I used to train twice a day, something and do nothing. And at Loughborough Uni, obviously they've got a lot of high-level sport, rugby, football, athletics, cricket. And they used to stream all of that sport. They had student presenters, they had a good media centre, they had cameras, kind of learn how to edit, learn how to film, learn how to record sound. So I just sort of threw myself into it. I think really as a way of keeping a bit closer to sport. So I used to go and report on athletics and present some of the live shows. I had a bit of a knack for it, never really thinking it was going to go anywhere. It was just a hobby. And you know, I did that, and then I was put forward for an award, like the National Student TV Awards, for Best Male Presenter. Didn't even know I was put up for it. Had no ambitions of doing it. And then Chris Hollins, who was the awards, it's Darren Barker, my coach, he's putting me off. Yeah, I knew he'd come back as well. They put me forward for this award. I won it, and Chris Hollins, who was presenting BBC Breakfast at the time, he said, you really got something here, you could actually pursue this as a profession. So I just kind of thought to myself, well, maybe I should go for it. And at the time I'd got an internship at a bank, I was going to go work for Merrill Lynch in the city. I was doing economics. I said to my parents, I said, look, it might not be easy to get into, would you be happy if I gave boxing a crack, gave the sort of TV industry a crack? And they supported me wholeheartedly, never questioned it. Completely, yeah. Whatever your kids want to do, you have to support them wholeheartedly, and you have to be there, because it's never going to be easy, something like that. And of course, the benefit, the beauty I had was the London Olympics were 8 months after I left uni, and one of my mates put a form in my hand, and it was a presenter application form for the London Games. I had to go through 3 months worth of sort of screen tests and interviews and all that kind of stuff. And eventually I got one of the 7 jobs from, I don't know how many applicants. I never expected to get it, and they said to me, what sport would you like to do? And for me, I knew athletics would be taken by all the big names. Boxing was a niche sport, and I followed the amateurs. I knew all of the
so actually during the Olympics you got a job on...
Yeah, so I was hosting the sports presentation at the Olympics in London for the boxing. It was 18 days, and I saw, you know, 2 of the protagonists tonight, Luke Campbell, Vasyl Lomachenko, saw Alexander Usyk there, Anthony Joshua. I was there every single day for all 18 days of boxing. And one of the best experiences of my life. And I can remember AJ's final, it was the very final day, full gold medal bout, and there was a guy called Bob, I forget his surname. He's a beekeeper and a local ring announcer in London. Lovely chap. He was about 75 at the time. He'd been doing London ring announcing for 25 years, and I think as a sort of reward for him and his services to the sport, they sort of said to him, you could be an announcer at the London Games. He got the fright, I think, just before AJ's final. He said, I'm a bit nervous and it's such a big occasion, it was televised. And my producer came to me and said, could you announce AJ's final? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And luckily I still have my suit on and everything.
That's amazing.
So there I am in the ring, you know, doing the Michael Buffer for the first time ever. And I've got the YouTube clip, I'll try to send it to you, but honestly it was the best experience to whip the crowd up, get them going, and announce the fighters before AJ came out and won the final. Did you get a bit nervous yourself? Yeah, of course. I was 23 at the time and you're just buzzing, but I was taking it all in, the crowd, the noise, and I was aware that this is something very special that I might not experience again.
What an amazing story though. So, you know, you look back, well, you look at it now, I mean, look what Hamid and Joshua has become. You can say that you were there in the ring when he won his gold medal, announced him into the ring.
Oh, it was
amazing.
It was insane, and obviously to see what he went on to do for British boxing and for world boxing since then, and to kind of follow that journey has been an absolute privilege. Yeah.
I mean, he's essentially, you know, just talking about Andy Joshua, I mean, he's pretty much changed the game of boxing, really. Yeah. I mean, he has made boxing not only a mainstream sport in this country for sure, but for the fighters, how much more money they're making off the back of Joshua.
Exactly that. You're bang on, Ben, because it's the financial injection that he has brought to the sport through commercial investment and through fighter purses that have actually provided opportunities for so many people in the sport, including myself, because you think the value that he brings to British boxing, matchroom boxing, of course, that has a knock-on effect. You know, we're now doing live shows and the weigh-in, the press conference, and of course we've just done a preview show in the O2.
May not have existed without that kind of boom, yeah.
Absolutely, because not only is his commercial draw and success brought that money in, it's brought fans in that didn't exist before, it's brought casual fans in. Those people, you know, someone's casual fans in obviously get a bad reputation, but these people are spending money, they're buying tickets, they're buying pay-per-views, and that brings money into the sport, and that feeds people who work really, really hard for the sport of boxing. And sometimes you have to wait for the next cycle of amateur boxers to come through. I mean, our professional system predicates on the success of our amateurs. Amir Khan's silver medal in Athens at the age of 17 was such an important medal, not just because of what it represented in terms of our success at amateur level, but that brought 5 million of lottery funding in for the next cycle, and that brought through James Gale, Tony Jeffries, David Price in Beijing. Those 3 medals then equated to, I think, £9.5 million of funding.
He was the only British boxer that we sent in that.
Yeah, he was Amir Khan, he was indeed. So the knock-on of that, we now get something like 13 million in funding to kind of supply the fighters at the EIS. And if you go up there, you see talent from the men's. There's so many new female boxers. Those will go to Tokyo and they'll then flood the amateur system, and that's a lot of what the professional success we have in this country is based on. So yeah, you're absolutely right, there are lulls and everything's cyclical in boxing, and ours often predicates on the success of our Olympic cycle. And honestly, I can say from my experience, our amateur system has never been as healthy as this.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of the names coming through, I mean, you've got even guys like, you know, Dalton Smith, you know, you got Waxy coming through. I mean, these guys are now coming through as serious pedigree. Yeah. Guys that you're looking at kind of early 1 or 2 fights in, and you know, they're already been talked about as future world champions. Their time, you know, years ago we had 1 or 2 world champions on the scene, you know, we'd be doing well. We're talking about guys coming through now, you know, 5, 6, 7 coming through that look like they could win world titles. So knock-on effects just amazing from what kind of goes on. Yeah,
and when you look at the correlation between amateur pedigree and professional success, there is no doubt an upward correlation. Like you look at any Olympic gold medalist in history, and there's very few that didn't go on to do well as professionals. It's not always the case, and of course, you go back 15, 20, 30 years, the amateur game is vastly different to the pros. The gap is now a lot narrower because there's no head guard, slightly smaller gloves. It does favour the punchers, so you look at people like Teofimo Lopez. I know he didn't win a medal in Rio, but Moaxi, as you mentioned there, who did
makes the transition to the pros easier though, doesn't it? Whereas before, and a lot of guys took a while to kind of, you know, get used to being in the professional game, completely different sport back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, but exactly. And again, you've got things like the World Series boxing over 5 rounds without head guards, which in the head guard era when it started was a game changer because it gave boxers the feel of boxing over a longer format and being able to slip shots. Because you forget, you think of a head guard as protection, but a lot of concussion studies say that it actually can exacerbate the damage that's done to a boxer because it can kind of cause a rattling effect. It's also a lot harder to slip shots because you've got like 2 inches of foam padding either side of your head. And I actually think no head guards, it may actually be a little bit safer. And
Cuts as well.
Exactly, cuts as well. One man that I saw in the World Series boxing at York Hall for the second time after the Olympics was Vasil Lomachenko, and it gave us such a good barometer of what was out there and who was going to make a better transition. Because you know what, the difference between 5 and 3 rounds doesn't sound like a lot, but you ask any boxer from the amateurs, those two extra rounds feel like a long, long time, and that's the first signal in their heads of how difficult that transition is going to be to the pro ranks.